What's up, everyone? Good morning. My name's Jay. This is my Reef tank, and right now it's about 9:30 on Tuesday morning. So I just wanted to go over a couple maintenance things that I'm doing throughout the week. Right now, the tank is just starting to wake up. I've got my primes starting to kick on real low, and my T5s will come on around noon, so I'm excited about that. But what I like to do through the week, real quick, Mondays, um, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm just using my magnetic glass cleaner. Now, this is not a recommendation for an acrylic tank. I have a glass aquarium. I do have an acrylic tank, but it's sitting up in storage. Um, these things, glass scrapers, all that stuff, it's not going to be necessarily intended for an acrylic aquarium. You can scratch it, it can fade out over time. So again, I'm talking about glass aquariums today. But this is a daily thing, real quick with this. Not too fast, nice and slow, take your time. And I do little circular patterns. And I just start at the top and I just work my way down and across. Biggest thing with this, make sure you get the right size. A lot of people, you're trying to save the money and you get the smaller one and then you realize it's just more work. And secondly, the glass is too thick, so it doesn't even work for you. Then it's just a waste of time. You're dealing with returns and all that. Bigger, go bigger, okay? I use the large Wilco's Pet Store. It's really nice. It's got a wood handle on the outside. The inside has a black scraper pad. But what I do is I take the 100% polyester, I have it in the sheets that I use as a pre-filter down in my tank above my filter socks. And I cut that out and I fit that and I can change that out weekly or monthly or whatever I need to do, okay? Secondly, don't get too close to your sand bed because what happens, you pick up a grain of sand down here and you're in trouble. You're gonna be scratching your tank and you're not even gonna realize it. There's nothing worse, at least to me, maybe some people don't care, but when you take pride in a tank and you're looking and you see a scratch. And it could be from putting in some rock, it could be from using a bad scraper that you're not maintaining properly, or it's from getting sand in there, whatever it's from, and you're gonna know it's there and you're gonna remember it's there every single time you clean your tank and it's gonna drive you crazy. So take your time with this stuff. You don't wanna scratch your glass. So I'll go with the magnetic cleaner down, around, be sure I'm not hitting any snails as I'm going down. And once I hit the bottom, I'm going about an inch above the sand bed. I don't want to pick up any of that sand. The other thing is, as you're moving this across, it's kind of turbulation. You're getting turbulation in that water, and it's going to pick up some of the sand, and it might pull up a little grain of sand up in your thing. So as you're coming across here, get down even with it, make sure you're looking at it, and go really slow across the bottom, okay? Then what I'm doing is I'm taking my scraper. Now, I buy these in 3-packs. Some of them come with extensions. So I have this one's an old one. I have these that came in the 3-pack. The biggest thing, your razor's rust-free. It's got a flat edge, okay? And as you're going inside there, you're not going side to side. Guys, girls, just like shaving your legs, just like shaving your face, you're not bringing that razor sideways across the glass. You're bringing it straight up and down at that perfect angle. So you're going to work down, and you can even work back up, but you're going straight. So I'll use this for like coralline algae that might build up on the sides. Typically, I'm doing the front and the 2 sides of the tanks when I'm cleaning. From time to time, I'll use polyester just to wipe down the back. But right now with my frag racks on here, it's a little bit difficult to use the magnetic cleaner there. So I'm building up some coralline on there and I'm gonna have to get the scraper once I'm 100% sure I don't have aphasia. But take this, I use my hand, I go down in there and I'm just going down. The other thing, don't hit your silicone seal. You don't wanna get too close to your seal down here. So what I like to do is I'll run my finger down below the razor as I'm pushing it down, so my finger will hit the bottom of the tank and it'll stop that razor from hitting that edge. That's the last thing you want to do is screw up your silicone. And that goes for every corner of the tank. Just go very slow when you're hitting those edges. Just go right up the edge and pull it back, okay? Be careful with the razor though. Now, that might, the magnetic, like I said, the magnetic cleaner, that's a daily thing. That just takes less than a couple minutes. Less than a couple minutes, maybe even less than a minute to do, okay? Every Wednesday is my full water change. You know, I do my 10% to probably 14 or 13% water change. So on Tuesdays, the day before my water change, I want to get a lot of this detritus built up and out and down in that filtration system. So I don't have any rotting, or I have as little as possible rotting material that might be sitting in there. Which obviously is why flow is such a big deal, but I'm using a turkey baster. So what I'll do is I'll blow off some of this rock. Using the UV sterilizer, the algae doesn't seem to hold that well to the rock, which is a good thing. So the tank can pick it right off, the scat can pull it right off, but also I can turkey base blow that right off and hopefully get it up into the water column and out of the tank. You can also do just the rock in general. You might have some detritus, some food, some whatever that's kind of settling down there, so it's good to clean that off. And then the little top layer, your sand bed. So some people might get like a thin layer of, you know, whatever algae or whatever on the top, and it's kind of good. It gets that nice and clean. The other thing you can do is I'll use like my filter pump, my pump, my water pump with the hose on it, and that's what I use to like fill my tank, do a water change. I might just set that pump in the tank, and I might use that hose in there, and I'll use just the water pressure to clean all that up. And that works good, especially like in a sand bed, because it kind of like gently tumbles that sand and it gets everything kind of moving a little bit without disturbing some of the bottom layers in a deep sand bed. For me, I'm using so much biomedia right now down in the sump that I'm not concerned about the sand bed. I want to go as thin as possible. I actually probably would have went without, but with the acrylic bases and all that stuff, I want to cover those up. And mainly, honestly, the hermit crabs were having a tough time, and the Cereus snails having a tough time, just kind of moving along the tank in the bottom. So I want to give them some grip throughout the tank. So you'll see, I think a lot of people might say, oh, I don't like it, whatever. I like it. I think it looks kind of cool. I want to just kind of build a little island of sand over there and keep it. I would have probably gone bare bottom if I could have, but I felt bad for the creatures. So that's it. Tuesdays, I'm getting all the detritus, I'm getting the buildup, I'm getting everything going, and I might even change out my filter socks once the tank starts to clear up. As far as the filter socks go, I've got 4 down there now. I've got 8 total. You can have as many as you want. I am taking these and I will rinse them off really good. I'll turn them inside out. I'll spray them off, all 8 of them, because I've got 4 dirty ones sitting in the garage right now from last week's change. And I'll clean those off and I throw them in the washer. Hot water, first of all, 5 teaspoons of bleach on a fast cycle, but hot water, and hot water, high spin, okay? And I do a heavy rinse too. So it increases, I think, the wash to maybe 40 minutes or 35 minutes. I get those done. I turn them inside out. I rinse them out really good in a hot 5-gallon bucket of water. And then I throw them back in the washer and I just do a rinse and spin. Hot water and high spin. And then I let those dry, typically overnight, and then I put them back in. In between that time, I can throw in some of the polyester, 100% polyester that I use. And that'll just kind of be a little bit of a pre-filter to get some of the food and some of the thicker stuff out of there. But again, I go heavy. I have a fairly large skimmer. It's really rated for like a 250-gallon tank, which that's what the manufacturer says. So it's actually probably good for like a 200-gallon tank. But I'm running a 140-gallon tank, so I'm good on that. I got a ton of biomedia in there. I got bio pellets running. I've got the UV sterilizer. I got my chiller. So if you're keeping this thing clean, you're keeping your sump clean, you're good. The other thing is I've got some pumps down in my sump. So I've got one in the return, I've got one in the main chamber, I've got one in the Chato/biomedia tank. And once a day those kick on for 10 minutes, and that's just to get that detritus up and moving around. You want to try to get this stuff moving in your tank. You don't want stagnant, stale areas. Your sump is going to be the area where it's going to get nasty, I'm telling you. If you let it just sit there and just rot. The other thing is your overflow. A lot of people don't think about that. In the back of the overflow, there's not a lot of turbulence going on inside there. The water's just kind of going and it's slow, it's draining down your main drain and your secondary backup drain. So what I like to do, maybe once every 3 months, is I'll take that that water pump that I use and the hose, like I said earlier, that I use for my water change, and I put that hose down inside there in the back of that return and that overflow, and that gets a lot of that detritus up. And I do that with a filter sock on it, like a heavy duty filter sock, because you're gonna be crazy on how much stuff comes out of there. It sits down there, it doesn't get moved around, and it gets nasty. So if you ever have like issues with numbers and your nutrient levels just like skyrocketing, I would definitely look at your sump and your overflow area, especially if you maintain your display real well. Just check those two areas out and make sure. Obviously there's a lot more to it, but a lot of people don't think about that overflow. Okay? So that's it. Easy maintenance. Easy maintenance. And I think that if you have the time, or you're like me and you just sometimes you can't just sit there all day at night watching TV or whatever, I just get up and I'm looking, and I just real quick, just a quick clean, and with the magnetic cleaner, we're all good. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope that you have a great day, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks.